I'm realizing that I might be using Slacks or Jenkins' microphone, and I might not have properly sanitized it. So this is the way that I'm going to catch some kind of virus.
How long do you think COVID lasts on inanimate objects?
I don't know if we've done the science on that. Surely we have to. I'm not a doctor.
Somebody told me it lasts like a couple days.
I think most bacteria and viruses last a while. That's not.
Oh.
I don't know. I haven't got around. I think.
Well, they didn't get sick, so you're probably fine.
That's true. I think that COVID has made me realize that I'm a bit more like I feel like I'm just living my life as a cleaner person now. Like I'm someone who would have no regards of like, did that chip fall on the floor? Time to eat it. It's just the floor. I know my shoes are there, but like whatever.
Yeah, it's a 30-second rule. Maybe 50 seconds.
There was a no second rule. I've licked public objects for good photo ops. Like I mean I've been pretty liberal with my tongue. I think it's very funny.
Okay. Do you remember the Seattle gum wall?
Yes.
Do you remember Slacks? He licked the Seattle gum wall. Would you do that for the photo op? Because that is truly liberal usage.
Probably.
Disgusting.
Probably. If it's there's a level where if I think something is funny enough, it starts to I don't care about my own personal safety.
It just doesn't matter.
Exactly. It just happens. So if it's funny enough, and if I'm going to get a reaction of someone that goes, ooh, sure, I'll lick the gum wall.
Anything for the lulz.
Kind of. It's a broken life. I see why Slacks would do something like that.
Yeah, he definitely did. I think that was for like a TI video.
I think so.
Yeah, that was like so. TI-8 or something.
I'd be remiss to not mention that anyone who is watching the video version on YouTube notices that we're together in person for the first time in
Yes. You know what else is here in person?
Months. Is it the fly?
That fucking fly is on the stool. That fly hasn't landed anywhere for the longest time, and now once we start recording...
I've been in your apartment
I gotta do it.
Go ahead. Try for it. I've been in Cap's apartment for probably an hour at this point, and there's been a fly flying. Nope, you missed. Oh, I think you got it. There's been a fly flying around for at least an hour, and now it is gone. So, if is someone gonna call PETA on you? I don't know if flies are covered under the whole PETA thing. Dude.
I hope they do. That's free publicity for the podcast. And yes, they would. They got on Obama. Remember the Obama thing? The whole whoosh. He got the fly that was on his hand.
No, I don't remember that.
PETA definitely, they said something about that. Granted, it goes both ways, right? It was a publicity stunt for them.
I followed politics a lot less stringently when things were going normally. Mm-hmm. And I think that I just am hyper aware now because everything has gone to shit. So,
yeah.
You know, how many more days till election? Everybody, have you registered to vote yet? This is my PSA. Have you registered to vote yet? Most states you can't anymore because that sucks. But I already voted.
I also already voted. I voted on the last podcast.
You voted on the last podcast. You were like,
no, I remember it was a topic of conversation that got brought up. I said I already voted.
Oh fuck.
We closed out the podcast. We said. We wanted to talk about something happy, and so I said I already voted.
Oh man, that just goes to
But
show
you finally got your ballot. I remember you didn't get your ballot.
I got my ballot, and I got my ballot, and the same day I filled it out. It was the day of the VP debates. When
you want to compare notes to make sure you got everything right? You got all the state measures correct?
Man.
That's actually my favorite part. I actually, screw the presidential election, screw like voting for governor and stuff. What I really like is like the state measures. I feel like I have more power there. It has more real impact on you.
Yeah, people always go like, "Oh, why am I going to vote? My vote doesn't matter." Blah 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 blah. But really, like local elections do matter, and even in California, like the propositions matter. Do you know that not a lot of states have referendum laws? A lot of those propositions that we vote on happen because like the people want them on the ballot, like they're people funded instead of like congressional funded. But I realized recently that not a lot of states do that, and not a lot of states have propositions the way that we do.
I did not know that because I've only voted in Washington and California, and both those states do that.
Yeah, and that's like a minority. But yeah,
weird.
Propositions are cool. I'm gonna out myself here. I went to go check. I filled out the ballot. I watched Cal Matters. It's like a YouTube channel that does like every proposition in under 2 minutes.
Yes, that's what I did as well.
Oh wow, dude.
Us and many other lemmings all fell off the same cliff together.
Yeah.
We all Googled, okay, I need to know more about this proposition. Who's supporting it? What's the actual? Because you read the proposition, but you don't really get like a really good idea of like what it's actually gonna do.
The voting Wikipedia pages, I'm always impressed with how thorough they're given. Like this proposition was funded by this person for this much money, and these agencies supported, and these like editorial newspapers supported against it. It's very interesting to me. But Cal Matters, every year they make a series of YouTube videos for all the propositions. And their whole thing is like under 1 minute, they put a timer on the clock and they try and explain it to everybody. I think they're very useful. I try and share them with as much people as I know because it's a very easy way to digest everything, right? Even though it doesn't give you maybe all the information you want, it's pretty easy. But I noticed this year that their production value was a little bit wonky because multiple videos were just exported improperly. Like the video for like Prop 24 like only has left channel audio. So if you're wearing headphones, you can only hear about Prop 24 in your left ear. And I left a YouTube comment. I'm like, hey, Cal Matters, I love your stuff. I share it. But someone should like watch down the videos before you upload them to YouTube. There's clearly an export error. Like someone checked the box wrong.
Somebody who works in production, you were like, this triggers me.
Yeah, that's 100% what happened. And then they gave me a very like nice, thorough response. They're like, hey, thank you so much for watching. We know some of the videos aren't perfect. It was very hard for us to like work from home and get everything done. And I'm like, oh no. I thought I was like throwing a message into the void like you do on the internet, right? Like you just left a review or I just like tweeted at Walmart and no one's ever gonna see it, right? But instead, like the person who was making these videos was definitely like, oh no, I feel bad about this, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, but like to be fair,
valid feedback. I'm not gonna walk back the feedback.
Oh yeah, very valid feedback. And is their excuse really that valid?
No, absolutely not.
Like you just listen back to the video and you're like, oh, this is wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Don't you just double check your work? Isn't that the solution here?
It's like someone uploaded it without watching the video, which is the thing that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Especially in like a digital media world. Like, oh man, I'm so excited to be done with this edit. Upload, right? Mm-hmm. You have to watch everything you do down before it goes up. Yeah.
Well, I made that mistake when I first started auditioning the voice acting stuff online. I didn't realize that I was only recording in one channel. I was only recording in the left channel, I think it was. And the way I was exporting it meant that it was only listenable in the left channel as well. And I was like, oh no. I didn't realize because the way I would play it back is on my laptop. Right? Yeah. So that would just, it was just mono. So I couldn't tell.
That's actually the biggest lesson is really if you're working on anything, you should be listening back to the final export on headphones. And also, like even for a lot of the podcasting stuff we do, like your interface really just kind of lets your microphone come in one channel, like it's mono, right? So, or if you have like a Scarlett, or basically anyone who uses an interface for an XLR microphone instead of like a Yeti or what have you, it comes in and you don't notice because if you're on Discord or if you're playing Dota or something, it's just one channel of audio. But as soon as you bring it into anything to edit, you have to like dupe it and convert it to stereo, and it's like a process. But what. Whatever.
I felt like an idiot. I was just like, holy shit. The last like 2 weeks of work, I've been just sending it on one channel. If anybody listened to these on headphones, which is pretty likely at least 50% of them, probably listen back to the auditions. They're all like, this man's an idiot. We're not hiring him.
I would probably feel the same way. If someone gave me a mono audio track, I'd be like, he might be a good voice actor, but he very clearly doesn't know something.
Yeah. I deserve that.
But yeah, we're in your apartment. My biology has a ticking time clock on this episode because you have a cat.
Oh yeah.
And I am not. Wait, I am very allergic.
You know, it's funny. You said biology and ticking time bomb, and like the media. First thing I thought of, pumpkin for the episode.
Oh, great! Really thematic.
So you can watch on YouTube and see the pumpkin that we have, the miniature pumpkin.
Spooky.
The first thing I thought of, because the only time you ever hear those words in context together is when women are talking about how they have like a limited amount of time to have a child. And so I was terribly confused where this was going. I was like, what is Joey talking about?
Does
he have to poop?
I only man, my biology says that there's only so much time. You know,
Speaking of, I installed a bidet.
You did.
We did not bring that up last episode, but I bought and installed a bidet. So I finally have one in my own home.
What tier of bidet did you go for?
I got the brand is Tushy.
Tushy.
Yeah, so it was like $70-$80. So it was definitely higher than normal, but I didn't go for a tier of like it's not heated water.
Okay.
I was like, I don't feel like installing that. And so I was like, no. Cold water's fine. That's fine. It's refreshing. And it's not that cold.
It's not that cold. Okay.
No.
My experience with bidet is that the first bidet I went for, I wasn't too sold on the topic. So you can get like a $20 bidet from Amazon. And it works. And it'll work for a while. And it's like disposable if you want to, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I learned that the water in the pipes at my old apartment are like straight out of a polar bear's ass. So cold. Which actually, if I think about that analogy, literally, it's probably warm. It's Arctic temperature cold. It's like if someone took dry ice, distilled it into a stream, which would just be
this
liquid
is a polar
nitrogen.
bear with diarrhea? Why is it coming out its ass in the first place?
Let's gloss over that. It was so cold that when I went to get a second bidet, which was like right pre-pandemic, I splurged and I got like a this is gonna be a weird flex. I got like a $200 DOTA bidet.
Oh shit!
And it's heated because it's electric, not because I have to tap into the hot water.
Okay.
So I just have to run bathrooms normally don't have power outlets by toilets, generally speaking.
Yes.
So if you go into my bathroom now, the cord snakes around the ceiling to get to the outlet, which is normally where like the razor would go. That's just permanently plugged in.
Yeah.
But I did opt. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't think I'm as manly as you, Cap. I'm not into cold bidet water. Like I would like my bidet to be warm, kind of like a not like a full shower water, but like at least a room temperature. Something that's not going to shock the system. Something that feels normal or average.
Yeah, it's refreshing. You walk away and you're like, I feel clean.
I hate asking employees where things are in stores.
Okay.
I
did that today. No problem. But go on. It doesn't even occur to me.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a shyness thing or just like a social anxiety thing or like an awkward thing or a pride thing. I'm sure it's all these rolled into one, right? But I like to think like, you know what? I'm not in a rush. I can find it. Mm-hmm. Or I should know where it is, or I can deduce where it is. But the last thing I want to do is be like, hi, Mr. Employee, Mrs. Employee, whose job it is to help me. Where is the pledge? Or I'm so averse to doing that. And I had to do that today because I was in a new market that I've never been in before. Okay. They opened up a brand new Pavilions, which is owned by Vons and Albertsons. It's very fancy. Out in the valley. And I wanted to go in because I had to kill some time. And this is just an insight into my life that I find
kill some time by going to the grocery store.
Yeah, well, dude,
you wouldn't catch me dead doing that.
It's brand new. It's brand new.
Don't care.
It's sparkling clean.
You know why I have no problem asking employees? Because I want to get in and out as quick as fucking as possible. So if it takes me more than 30 seconds, if I feel like I'm not finding in the first 30 seconds, I'm keeping my eye out for that employee.
I think that because I forced myself to not ask employees for help, I've really trained myself at being good at identifying store layouts and where things are.
Okay.
Like, I think that if you had to do one of like those speed shopping competitions and you gave me like a list to go into a Walmart or a Target and you'd be like, hey, who can find these 10 things the fastest? I bet that I'm like A/S tier at that. I'm very good at that game, right? And part of that just comes because I hate asking for, I think I just don't like asking for help in general. But I was in this.
Yes, we've that is very clear from your last plumbing problem that you had. So go on.
Really? Yeah. I'm glad that we can do some psychological analysis here. I could not find the bathroom in this store. And generally, finding bathrooms in stores or markets is an easy proposition because you just got to walk around the outside layer.
Yes.
The bathroom is never in the middle of the toilet paper aisle. In the middle of the store, right? Like it's always around some confounding wall.
Yeah, but part of the problem is that some stores don't have it easily accessible. Like sometimes grocery stores have where you have to you have to go out the back. You know, like you have to go behind, you have to go into the employee area. That's where the bathroom is.
Yes.
Was that one of those situations?
It wasn't.
Okay.
It was just, I walked around the store twice, and I had to go to the bathroom so bad, and I'm like, this is a disaster. I'm thinking of contingency plans in my head. I'm like, where else could I walk to? Where else could I figure out? Like, how do I get myself to the bathroom in some kind of timely fashion? So I do 2 laps around the store, and I'm just suffering. I'm like, where the fuck is it? And it's tucked away in some corner by the entrance, hidden by the cheese.
Okay.
And I had to ask someone for it. I'm like, excuse me, is there where's the restroom? And she looked at me and she's like, oh, it's over there. And I'm like, but she didn't really point. She just said it's over there without giving any indication where there is. And I'm like, oh no, this is my worst nightmare. Because not only did I not want to ask in the first place, I now have to ask again because I didn't understand what she said. I was like, I'm sorry, where? She's like, oh, by the cheese. And I'm like, down this way? She's like, no, like in the corner. And I'm like, thank you. And by this point, I already checked out. So I am now a man who is taking his pack of taco seasoning with him into the bathroom. And I feel like the security guard's like, what's going on here? But also, no one wants to take their food they just bought into the bathroom.
Was it taco seasoning or was there anything else? Taco seasoning is in a plastic bag. It's all good.
There was also
a paper bag.
An individually wrapped mochi ice cream.
Individually wrapped mochi ice cream. So like plastic around it?
Yeah, it was like in a little cup almost.
Okay.
It was
a little borderline for a public restroom, but yeah.
I didn't open it in there.
Yeah. I get that. I figure you didn't sit down on the toilet and break open your ice cream and start eating there.
I mean, if I can be really honest with you for a second, I considered it. Because it was just, I mean, I sat it down right there on the toilet paper machine. I sat it down with the taco seasoning. I used the taco seasoning as a buffer.
Yeah. That is the one thing I hate going when I fly and I go to airport restrooms. I hate it that I have to sometimes set my stuff down. So I always have a backpack so it can stay on my shoulders rather than a bag that I'm holding, which I will have to set down inevitably on a sink or something like that.
Yeah,
so
no, thank you. Big no thank you there. So I confronted my worst nightmare of having to talk to someone in public today. Please pity me.
Good job. I'm proud of you, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure how to react to this. All I thought about was that like when I was working at Lowe's, which is a hardware store. For those of you guys who don't know what it is, it was I used to work at a hardware store and I worked outside garden. So I worked in the happy fun part, right? Nobody's going to outside garden having a bad day. Nobody's like, fuck this day, I'm gonna go buy some flowers, you know?
I've never thought about that before.
Oh yeah.
When people go into hardware stores, unless it's their job, most of the time it's because they like need something that broke.
Yes, exactly. So okay, so here's the like the psychoanalysis of the customers that you're going to be getting. Okay, you get like so if you're working the lumber section, okay, you're going to get basically what you think of when it comes to hardware stores, right? You go to the lumber section, you're going to get craftsmen, you're going to get carpenters, you're going to get guys who are trying to work on a shed or something like that. You know, you're either going to get contractors and professionals, or you're going to get guys who do this as like their hobby sort of thing. So most of the time professional, most of the time I have a pretty solid expertise of what they want. And so very like business like, you just got to make sure you know what you're talking about. No problem. You get to the paint areas. Okay, you're going to be dealing with like newlyweds getting their first home. You're going to be dealing with like maybe like parents and like they're painting up like a new baby's room or their teenager's room. They're changing something, but generally like happier side, right? Nothing really wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
What area can you think of in a hardware store that is going to have most likely the worst customers to deal with?
I mean, my first instinct is plumbing and electrical, but I
Exactly.
feel like electrical people don't do their own stuff. People maybe do more plumbing.
Electrical, more contract. Plumbing. Anytime anybody goes to plumbing, they've got a problem. Nobody's like, oh yeah, I decided to renovate my house and put in a new bathroom, and what do you know? I was missing this valve. No, it's this fucking thing went wrong. This thing fucking broke. Where the fuck is this valve exactly? And it's just a long list of technical, like, where's the M624 valve or something like that? And you're like, I don't fucking know. Like, the customer's they're looking at this aisle and it's just all fucking pieces and parts, and he's just like, I don't know where the fuck to find what I'm looking for. And then he looks for an employee, and the truth is the employee doesn't really know what the fuck they're looking for, because again, it's just a long list of parts. You can't memorize that. It's just parts and pieces, and you're just like so it's going to take a while finding it, almost no matter what. Yeah. So plumbing was, anybody ever, like, I ever got a customer. So that's what I was thinking about, is when I was working at Lowe's, whenever somebody asked me to look for something, I was actually very happy, because it gave me like a job to do, where maybe like I just liked being fulfilled. What I hated was like not doing anything and just kind of like wandering around and waiting for a customer to help or something like that. So I liked it when people asked me where there was something. The only time I didn't like it was plumbing, because I knew they had a problem. They probably were irritable, and I probably wasn't going to be able to help them as much as they were hoping. It was like those three things, it was like, not great. But yeah, outdoor garden, obviously great. You're going to get little old ladies working on their garden. You're going to get a lot of, like, you're going to get guys who are working on like bigger like outdoor projects that they're excited to work on. They're like fixing up their backyard, their place where they're going to be they want to put in some rocks so they can have a barbecue out there. Like bigger projects that you have to plan out, that you have to be kind of excited to do, so those guys are going to be happy. The girls, like the little old ladies who are focusing on gardening, obviously they're fantastic. Love helping them out. They usually know more than me anyway, so it's like they're really more humoring me anyway. Oh, you look like a nice young man. Where at the, and I was just, sure, here.
To fertilize her that way.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that before. I've never thought about people like going to hardware stores even for problems, because most of the time when I go to a hardware store, like, sure, sometimes it's like, oh, I need a new floater for the toilet or something that's like kind of urgent, because I tend to fix stuff myself anyways. But normally me going into like a Home Depot is just like also sometimes a leisure activity. Like
yeah, and it's very like, 75% leisure, but the 25% is usually like a big problem.
I'm a big fan of going to the paint section, and actually sometimes I go to Home Depot or Lowe's and I get sample paints for when I need to like do some kind of an art project instead of going to like an actual craft store.
Oh, okay. That's smart.
Because sometimes you can just find the color you want easier.
Yeah.
And have them make it. And it's like $3 for like a big thing of sample paint.
Yeah.
And it's good quality. That's my construction life pro tip for everybody. Next time you need to buy some paint, you just go get the little samples. They're great.
Me and my two cousins both we all applied and worked at Lowe's at the same time, and we actually got like the 3 best departments to work in for newbies. Anyway, my older cousin worked in the stock room, so he was just like loading stuff in the back warehouse and stuff like that. Super easy. My younger cousin worked paint, which again, paint is like there's nobody who's really like most of the time paint is you're finishing up a project. You've finished renovating and now you get to do the finishing touches of paint. Now you get to do the fun stuff of like how the room's going to look.
It's also fun.
Yeah.
Paint is fun. People are like, oh, look at the colors.
Yeah, exactly. Like actually doing the painting, like maybe not so much, but like the idea of applying a color to a room, people are happy with that. They like the decision-making process. Plus you get to see the paint being made. So, or you got to put it in that big machine. Yeah.
I only remembered a little bit that you told me you did work at Lowe's.
That's for newbies. The good departments after that are like the refrigerators and lawnmowers. Those are like the 2 extra money makers because you can actually make commission on the refrigerators and lawnmowers that you sell.
Huh.
Yeah.
So that's like someone wants to work in fridges because they're making extra.
Yeah, they're making that little bit of extra money. So, and riding lawnmowers. That's the other one. Not regular lawnmowers. Riding lawnmowers. Those things are $400, $500, $600. So
those don't exist down here.
Yeah. I guess they wouldn't in California, huh?
Very seldomly. I mean,
people don't really have enough.
Here.
People don't own enough land most of the time because it's expensive as hell.
Have you ever used like a old school push mower that's like completely mechanical?
Yes.
We had one of those, and for the longest time, my dad would just have me use that to cut the lawn. I'm like, Dad, this is hard. He's like, yeah, son, it's hard.
It builds character.
Kinda. And why
does your dad make me think it's like, Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah.
It's like his dad.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Why do we do it this way? It builds character.
He had a gas-powered mower, and when he would cut the lawn, he would use the gas-powered mower. And sometimes if I was lucky, I could use the gas-powered mower. But really, we didn't have a big front lawn. It wasn't giant. It's probably a little bit bigger than your living room right now, but still, it'd be like, yeah, just use the push mower.
So do teenagers have lawn mowing businesses here, or there just not enough lawns?
No, I think most lawn mowing businesses are kind of folded into landscaping businesses, which is really cornered by the immigrant market in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I had a lawn mowing business when I was a teenager. I had a gas-powered lawnmower. Yeah, it even had the automatic where you put down the pedal and it automatically drives forward.
Oh,
that's the good shit. You don't even have to push. You just steer.
What does Teenager Cap do with his lawn mowing business money?
I don't really know. I don't really remember. Maybe I bought probably computer games.
Dude, fucking cool.
Yeah, I don't really know what else I would have really bought. I go out to get food with friends sometimes, but movie theater, that's actually an American classic.
Yeah.
Mowing lawns in order to get money to pay to go see the movies with friends.
You just gotta work for your entertainment.
Yeah. gotta work to make money to go out on a date with a girl, and then not walk her back to her door and kiss her goodnight. Totally missed that opportunity just because you are stupid.
You did get dinner. So I mean, you picked up the tab there, which is worthwhile. You'll learn these things over time. It's just a progress.
Like how you say you'll learn these things over time. Like I'm still learning them.
Yeah.
You know, I missed my chance with Ellie. You know, we had a nice dinner, and then I didn't come home.
We lived together, and
I didn't walk her to the door.
Yeah, you stayed in the car. I don't know what's up with that. Dude.
But yes, we grow old and things change, and then things end, and that's what happened to the battle pass. I don't know. I was just leading somewhere to Dota.
I mean, you had a better. I was about to just transition there also, but you had a better segue. Like, you know, we grow old and things, and I was just about to say. So speaking of things that don't exist anymore.
Yes, the battle pass is gone. And Valve is like, well, fuck, I guess we got to do some Dota Plus stuff.
Do we know why the Battle Pass stopped?
Because it has to end, Joey, for another Battle Pass to begin. If we give you all of these things and you can just have them, then the next time it comes around, you may not want to pay that money again.
So it's just like a scarcity thing.
Yeah,
like
it's absolutely a scarcity thing. That's why Valve said when BTS, you know, they did their compendium for early on summits, you know, that went well, and Valve's like, yeah, this was a really good idea. I'm glad we let you guys do this, but that's our money. We want the compendium money for our stuff, and our stuff is not. You can't compete with our stuff if you can't compete at all. I mean, it's absolutely true. Like any of this stuff that we make fun of Valve for, like it's true. They're very capitalistic in that regard, and that they are smart and do things the right way that make them the most money for many things.
I want to know what it was like in their office. Well, I guess no one's at the office. I want to know what it was like in their Slack channels as soon as they're like, hey, guys, Kyle made another blog post.
Yeah, it was funny. We had that whole conversation. Next thing you know, Moon Meander says something, and then Kyle said something. It's funny how these sort of things, like I haven't talked to Moon Meander, and of course, Kyle and I have talked behind the scenes about this general stuff, right? But I haven't talked to him recently about it in a while, but these sort of things, you know, everyone, like, it's funny how everyone just kind of reached like a breaking point of like, yeah, all right, this is getting ridiculous. What's happening here, Valve? You know, like we all reached that point around the same time.
That leads me to believe that people don't have insider information. Because I think that if Valve would tell a Kyle, a Cap, a PPD, who are your tastemakers at this point? I don't know. Whoever the team manager, Cyborg, Matt, whatever, right? Like, if they'd be like, hey, this is coming October 12th, and these are the changes we're thinking, then that information would kind of circulate internally for the people who need it. And then you would find out from Kyle, and like people would kind of know, and then people wouldn't necessarily be vocal about it because they know something's coming. But the fact that I think people are being vocal about it now means that there isn't any insider info flowing around the back end. That it's just people really, truly don't know, and there's a mixture of being concerned / scared, and then also worried and angry.
Yeah. I mean, I said the only insider thing that I had was what I said last podcast, which is Valve is actually offering to help financially tournament organizers with their upcoming tournaments, right?
Which we saw the other day.
Yeah, which we saw with the South American tournament. I can't remember what that's called. I don't know because I don't watch it, to be perfectly honest.
Don't fact check us. I saw the graphic.
Yeah, but like I know there's going to be more tournament organizers that are announcing their tournaments, and Valve very likely will have helped them. I'm presuming it's prize pool related. I'm betting what they do is 50-50, which is weird. I wonder if they do more. I have no idea like what the number is, but if they do 50-50, right? It's like, okay, we'll cover half the prize pool. Well, the thing is in Dota is that you have to have such an exorbitantly large prize pool in the first place to attract the teams that you want to attract. Otherwise, those teams can just be like, no. It's like very easy because they have so much power and they have so much money. The players themselves have made so much money that they don't need to keep playing. Right? Especially right now where there's no DPC, anything going on. There's no points to be made. So they could just be like, we want the prize pool to be at least 300,000. And the tournament organizer is like, well, we're not doing that. It's 100,000. That's all we got. That's all we can put in. And then your secrets, OGs, Nigmas, whoever it is, those top echelon of teams that you really want because they draw on the viewership, they could just be like, well, then we're just going to skip. You know, and it doesn't matter if it's even it's a really good tournament, you know, that like nowadays you just don't, I guess, what can you really say is like maybe the stuff that BTS puts on is like the only stuff that you could say has a low prize pool, but it's still a really good tournament. But outside of them, every tournament that is you would consider like, oh, this is a fantastically run tournament. It has like a huge prize pool, 200, 300,000 minimum.
What was Dota Pit's prize pool?
I don't know.
Or does that fall into not even a great tournament at this point?
I don't think that falls into a great tournament. They ran a minor last year. They're not a tier 1 tournament organizer. No shade to throw their way, but I always feel kind of weird like ranking people like tournament organizers or casters and stuff, but like it is the way it is, you know? Like I'm a tier 1 caster. That's not me bragging. I just like when I was a tier 3 caster, I knew that too. You know, like I knew who were the top dogs and I knew how far down the fucking chain I was. It's like, you're just aware of those things, you know? And I don't think Dota Pit is a tier 1 organizer. I don't think they just can't, they don't have the size to be that, you know? But
yeah, what's even coming down the pipeline now?
Also, no one does anything special, honestly.
Well, if you try and do something too special, like, you know, you're doing a Midas mode, then people only kind of care about that anyways, right? Like, so you have to hit the right level of what is special, but not over the top.
It's funny how like the only like special tournaments that come are out of talent driven organizations, BTS and Moondog. You know, Omega League was something special, no doubt. But that more comes out of like that was a somewhat regular tournament. Right, that was a regular format. It was like what was great about it is that they spent so much. They have such amazing production. They brought in all these talents, but it was like more of an impressiveness of size, and like with that size comes all those extra things, like, you know, hey, we've got these skits that you guys want to do and stuff like that. Like all that filler content comes with the size that happens, but like truly like unique tournament formats and stuff like that is always, it's at least in Dota, has come from BTS and Moonduck.
I'm happy that Dota has kind of even some semblance of unique tournament formats. I'm excited to see, like, you know, right now we're seeing another Swiss bracket. I'm always a fan when Swiss brackets pop up. I'm always a fan of alternate.
What's the Swiss bracket?
Is it ESL that's going on right now?
ESL is going on, yeah.
Someone in Europe is doing I think it's ESL. ESL is doing a Swiss bracket.
Oh, really?
With all their teams.
Okay.
Which I like. Yeah. I like that formats can be fluid.
Yeah.
Stuff like that can be fun.
Yeah, I don't like Swiss bracket myself, but it is a nice change of pace. I agree. It makes it like it is fun seeing like, oh, this team's 3-0, this team's 3-0. They're gonna match up against each other. Like that'll be cool to see. You got this shitter versus this shitter. This team's 0-2. This team's 0-2. One more loss, they're eliminated. You know, that's fun as well.
I'm always a fan of games at the bottom that have stakes like that. Where that's why
the toilet bowls.
Yeah, that's also why I always thought some of the most fun parts of TI's past were the play-ins for the last wildcard slot.
Yeah,
I'd get hyped for that to see like, oh man, we're gonna see, you know, NA Archon go up against some other team, and someone's not going to play in TI.
Yeah,
These games are worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're between teams that are are not very good.
Yep.
I mean,
You had
sure,
that
CDEC,
one year
but-
there was like Yapsor, Kazu, and Cinderen's team. I don't remember what their org was at the time. But they played
it was
in
an arrow. Their org was like a
Escape or something? Was it an Escape?
That was pointed upwards.
Escape Gaming.
I think Koikfa was on that team too.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, I remember they didn't make it through. They had, I think the NA team made it through that year. Or maybe it was the C and Chinese team. It's usually the Chinese team that makes it through because they usually have had the depth to support a pretty decent tier 2 scene. So, but yeah, Battle Pass is over.
It was
New
Escape.
tournaments.
It was Escape. Gaming.
Escape. Nice. You got the logo. I got the name.
You know how many teams Cinderen's been on?
A decent number, yeah. That's what happens when. That's what happens when you are not that successful, but you have the drive to keep going, and I think that's really cool. I would have quit a long time ago if I was Cinderen. But I respect the hustle that he has. Like, he just has the passion, you know. He really wants to make it. And he's going to keep playing. Even though he could just be tier 1 talent, right?
Yeah. He's hella entertaining.
Dude, he's so good. He's such a good co-analyst. I think still to this day that Cinderen independently, right? Like, I think Blitz, when he's at his best with me and him, he's absolutely one of the best up there. But like Cinderen independently, it didn't really matter what caster he was with. He was such a good co-caster because he was funny. He's interesting, right? He's a unique person, so he's got like kind of a quirky sense of humor. He's like, he has a real personality that you can like or dislike. Most likely like, because he's a decently charismatic person, right? Yeah, there's nothing offensible about Cinderen, right?
Yeah,
he's just a fun, goofy guy. And he's got great analysis, obviously. Part of the reason is he's been playing competitively and wants to play professionally this entire time. And then on top of that, his hype from the co-casting position was very good. He was like, whenever I co-cast, I try and model myself after Henry G and like Cinderen. Those are two, in my opinion, some of the best like side hype is what I call. You know, like side you hide okay. You know, you're not the main hype man, but you kind of like you're like the
you're like Migos. You're in the background of the track and you go like, yeah okay.
You're the offset of the group. Offset.
Yeah, it's fucking dude's been on a lot of teams. I've always liked when Cinderen was casting. He's someone who would kind of get me to a broadcast.
Yeah.
Just because he is so fun. I remember I was in his hotel room during one TI, and I have this very vivid memory of he was playing music, but the only way that he would play music via YouTube is he would poll the room for like a letter and a number, and then he would just let the YouTube algorithm like. So he would go to like youtube.com / and then like start to type in a specific YouTube video like code.
Yeah.
So he would just have people give them the code and the song would just be whatever. Like if I said like Y8 and then, you know, some kind of weird Icelandic opera came on because that's what auto completed after Y8, then that's what we would listen to.
I love Cinderen, man.
Wow, that is so... Your brain is just interesting, dude.
Yeah, dude. That's what I like. I like people. That's actually one of the things I like about Dota Town is that I feel like most of the people are pretty interesting and unique. You know, like maybe they could be considered weird to some, but I feel like weird is like way better than boring. You know, way better than normal. It's just like very often it just means you're not that interesting.
Who's the most normal Dota talent then?
Well,
because everyone,
I feel like this is like, I'm not trying to humble brag, but I feel like it's myself because I'm actively saying like I think it's good to be unique and interesting, and I feel like I'm the most like even keeled, like somewhat normie kind of person, you know?
I think you're probably one of the people who's integrated the most with society in non-Dota or gaming or esports ways.
Mm-hmm.
And you also, I think, can deal with normal humans pretty easily. I guess most talent can. Although I would love to go hear Cinder and like place an order at McDonald's because that might be fun.
Yeah, you know he's going to do something trolly at some point in time.
Right?
He just can't help himself. He just gets that goofy grin, you know? And it's not even a harmful trolling, you know? It's just something like he's just going to ask for something dumb, you know?
I feel like Trent's probably pretty normal.
Trent's a very normal person. I have determined this. If I have like a post-apocalyptic scenario and I have to choose one other talent, Blitz doesn't count right now because he's not talent, then I would definitely choose Trent. Because Trent is actually a handyman. He's reliable. Like, I know I can depend on Trent in that regard. In like a post-apocalyptic scenario. Like, the dude's Canadian. He goes out there and chops wood in winter, you know? Like, he may not look like it, but he's kind of the most rugged of the esport talent. He's got that baby face, but he's actually probably the most, like, manly of all of them.
He also has strong dad energy, which makes sense with multiple children, but strong dad energy.
True.
Man.
Who would you choose if you had if you like pick like your team? Let's say it's a Left 4 Dead team. So you get you and 3 other people of the talent. What are your 3?
I guess it depends on what we're doing, right? Like what kind of what I want to be min-maxing for.
Okay, post-apocalyptic scenario. So it's going to be some zombies, mutant types. So you're going to want somebody who is able to run or survive, or in that sort of survival. Also, so you're going to need somebody who actually knows how to just like live off the land sort of thing, or know how to scavenge grocery stores and shit like that. And what's like a third metric of post-apocalyptic survival?
I'm gonna wanna. I think I'm gonna want to take Purge.
Okay.
Because my thought process here is that he is very emotionally even.
Yep.
And I don't want people around me who are going to be panicky.
Yeah. I don't think Purge is going to like lose his shit.
Correct. Like
it powered down. Why? It had battery.
Well, that's when the video cut out, everybody.
All right, well, then there goes the video.
I'm going to want to take Purge because I think that he's not going to panic in a scenario.
Yeah, like he's kind of got an engineer type mind where he's going to be thinking about the facts and logic of the scenario.
Yeah.
He's probably going to focus on what gives them the best gives the group the best outcome to survive a situation. Right? I could see a post-apocalyptic, not this Purge, but I could see a post-apocalyptic Purge being that guy who says, no, we can't go out there and save that person. That would jeopardize the entire group.
Yeah, which I think
is important.
Yeah,
that's an important. I'm saying post-apocalyptic Purge who's already gone through several emotionally scarring scenarios and has learned that you need to cut your losses. You know, I could see him being like, survival comes first. And he would give you the facts of the situation and be like, you need to be rational about this and understand that this is a suicide mission.
See, now, I've been struggling. We've been vamping because I've been trying to think of 2 other people who aren't just a repeat of you and Trent. Because I feel like those are still similarly very safe bets.
Okay, take me and Trent out of the picture.
I know that makes it so much harder. You and me are like, I would want you because I know that you're absolutely going to put in the work that has to be required.
Okay.
And you're not going to have any qualms about like doing
I got
physical activity.
I've got your solution for that. Instead of me, get Lyrical. Lyrical will put in the work, and he's a big dude.
Can Lyrical run though if we need to?
I don't think I've ever seen Lyrical run, but I bet he can, but you're gonna want some brawn, right? You're gonna want somebody who's like, this door's locked. How do we get in? Gabe, you're up. You know, like Gabe's gonna be that guy who knocks down the door for you, and he can cook, and he's just a good, lovable person. He's not gonna stir any shit up with the group, and he's also gonna put in the work.
I'm not worried about any physical obstacles with both Gabe and me there. I think that between him and myself, we're two pretty meaty boys. Like, there's nothing that's gonna be able to not be moved over.
Yeah.
So, fourth person on the team.
I feel like now you need so you've got your cook, you've got your sort of more like analytical mind. What would you say you bring to the table?
I mean, I think I also do bring a lot of brawn.
Of course.
I bring a lot of brawn to the table.
But Lyrical is your cook, so what else are you bringing?
I'm grabbing people who are similar to me in demeanor, right? Like I want someone who's not going to be
happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, like sure. things are gonna be fine and even, right?
Okay.
So,
well, but I'm asking, what other skills do you bring to a post-apocalyptic scenario?
Oh, I'm absolutely a craftsman.
Okay, there you go.
I'm gonna be able to build or tinker with a lot of stuff.
Okay, so are you the scavenger? This is where I was leading. Are you the scavenger in the group, or do you need a scavenger?
I think I would be the scavenger.
Okay,
I'm pretty good at identifying that all of that stuff really. So,
so I don't think you have to worry about combat. You've got you and Gabe. You've got the scavenging covered. You got the cooking covered. Somebody who would take care of people. Maybe somebody who would be a little bit more handy with the medical supplies.
Does that make them a weekly? Yeah, like I'd be down for some kind of a medic.
Yeah, somebody who's just going to look out for everybody. That would help.
Or just someone who's like crazy smart.
Yeah.
I just want to minimize chaos, right? Like, so I'm not thinking like I don't want Owen on my team, right? Like, I don't want Owen chaos.
You don't want Owen who'll just be like, "Can we go?"
Yeah,
that's Owen in a team fight. Can we go? Can we fight? Can we go?
I fucking love Tsunami. I don't know who's gonna help me in a post-apocalyptic scenario. The dude weighs like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
memes won't be a very valid currency.
Yeah,
in the post-apocalypse, so
maybe like a positive mood enhancer, but aside from that,
but you've already got that covered with you and Gabe. I feel like
exactly.
And like Purge isn't bringing any problems, so
we got to throw out some more names. Who are we not thinking of here?
All right, we got
Blitz is gonna die.
Kyle.
Blitz is gonna die. Kyle will probably make someone else want to murder him.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
you're gonna have some problems with Kyle and Purge.
Same with
there's
Jenkins.
Gonna be some sort of clash in there. Jenkins is too wild for sure. Who else you got? Fogged. You got Fogged. You've got
Fogged is super small. He might not need a lot of calories to survive.
I mean, Lizard is Lizard is almost unfair. Just for the sheer size of that man, you know, you were like, oh, he's gonna be useful somehow. So let's just put him out because you already got Gabe in you. Yeah. We need somebody who provides something unique and different to this squad. There's Moxie. There is who else did I work with at Omega? Slacks. You said no chaos though.
Yeah, no chaos. Like again, like he'd probably help the mood sometimes, but I couldn't put up with that 24/7. Right? Like we need to be a unit.
Ziori, Dan often.
You know, Dan could be a decent I also think Ziori might not be a horrible choice either. I think that Ziori would probably put in the work. He'd be like, hey, everybody, we got to survive. But he might bring a wee bit too much chaos.
And he's on the smaller side, so he might, like any of the scavenging that you can't, like you're trying to get into one of those like bathroom small windows, like he'll be able to fit in there, whereas you and I wouldn't, So Ziori's not a bad option in that regard.
Yeah, maybe I'd take Dan.
Dan is tall.
Yeah, he's got that going for him.
I don't know much enough. Like I know Dan is I like Dan, but I don't know about any of his skills. I feel like he probably is like an adequately responsible adult. You know, I feel like he's probably picked on up on some skills, but I don't know if he does anything specific.
His other skills are like comedy, right? And I don't know. I'm like, we're not going to entertain the zombie apocalypse with.
No, not with a tight 5. That's not going to do it. Who else are we miss? We're missing a lot of people.
Man, I hope no one's listening to this.
Nomad, B Cop, Renessa. I know I'm missing some like obvious names somehow.
Nessa could be a good one.
I feel like your choice of Ziori though was pretty on point.
Yeah, it might just be Ziori. I'm trying to. Where does Wikipedia say where people are? Who was at the International 2019?
Suns fan.
Shiver, Rich, Period.
Rich. Period.
Maybe Pip Uncle. Kyle
Weapons
Lacoste,
and Scriff.
Haas, Purge.
The cost, yeah.
You know, maybe Dakota.
Maybe Dakota.
Looking at this, maybe Dakota.
Dakota's a responsible adult. He's another dad. He's
you know what I think it's Dakota.
Okay. He's you know, like he leads projects, he's a father, he's like somebody who's built up responsibility. He's comfortable in that, I think. Dakota, that's your answer?
Yeah,
that's your final answer?
Lyrical Dakota, Purge, and myself, I think, can adequately survive a zombie apocalypse. I think that we well round ourselves out enough.
That's your Left 4 Dead 3 cast right there.
We could also go to
4
a clan
white
rally
people.
together because we're just I'm glad that we got to that same conclusion with different.
Yeah. Announcing like it would just be so funny if that was your cast for Left 4 Dead 3, just because it so clearly clashes with 2 and 1, where they were like very clearly diverse groups where they were supposed to all represent like a different part of society. You know, you had like the Francis, the biker dude, you know, then you had Zoe. Zoe was this Left 4 Dead 2, right?
I think Zoe was 1. Yeah, Zoe was 1.
Okay.
And then I forget the name of the female in 2.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
To be fair,
but then you had the black guy who said Peels. That's how I remember. He always said it that way.
To be fair, Dota talent, like if you want diversity in Dota talent, you have to look for like one of 4 people, right?
Yeah.
There's Tsunami, Nessa, Moxie. Shiver.
We only come in shades of white and like light brown. We have no black people in Dota.
Yeah, that is true. I guess there is. I mean, if you want to count Blitz or Merlini, but they're Winter. Yeah. Wow.
It's like for whatever reason, Dota is just a game that just ended up with a bunch of white people and Asian people.
Probably the Warcraft 3 demographic.
Yeah.
Or the people who had computers to play.
Yeah.
Or the people who... I mean, Dota's free, so I guess there's not really much of money.
Yeah, but still owning a PC in the first place. Like, at a time, that was expensive, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it still even kind of is.
But
I guess you can play Dota on a laptop at this point and still be fine. But
yeah.
Man, we meandered all over the place, so that made no sense for everybody. But I'm glad that you now know our Apocalypse team. I am feeling the effects of
Meanwhile,
the
it's
cat.
just going to be me and Trent. Oh, you're feeling the effects of the cat? All right, it's time to get you going. Well, I'm just going to end it on that me and Trent, it's just me and him. It's a nimbler, cleaner crew. You guys aren't going to survive. We're going to steal your supplies.
I'll take more people over less people any day. I think there's definitely a strength in numbers thing. Like, what happens as soon as things get confrontational? There's just more of us.
Yeah, but how do you know that like the confrontation's not going to happen in the first place? It's only 2 people. You don't like 4 people. That's a lot of noise that you're making. You know.
I bet Purge, for as liberal of a cuck as he is, great shot. He probably can be great.
Probably,
with a gun
yeah.
too.
He really would. He really would, because being good with a gun is all about like just following the instructions. That it really is as simple as that. They always told us in in boot camp, they told us that like the people who'd never fired a gun were always gonna do like kind of better because they're just like a clean slate. So as long as you follow the instructions, it's not that hard. As long as you just like put everything where it's supposed to be, you just pay attention to your breathing, slow squeeze.
That's another reason to have you on the team too, because I'm pretty sure the only person with formal gun training or any type of gun experience.
That might be true. I'm trying to think. I think somebody's gone hunting before.
But even then, how
probably
many times?
Trent. It's honestly probably Trent. We're gonna have all the experience with the guns too. You guys are definitely screwed.
Yeah, Purge has never touched a gun, I'm sure, and Lyrical's like, what do you do with this? So,
Yeah.
my shooting experience is very limited.
When did you shoot? Did you go to a range?
Yeah, just when I was younger, just like shooting some like in the desert. So like a pseudo range.
I highly recommend that if you get the chance to do something like that, I highly recommend taking it because it is a fun experience. Shooting at a range, I've found anyway. Like I'm not a gun person by any means, but like I always found that shooting was like, again, you just follow through the instructions, and I always found the experience like kind of relaxing and fun. As long as you get over the paranoia of like, oh my God, I'm firing a weapon. Oh Jesus Christ!
It's really hard for me to not have intrusive thoughts when holding a weapon in my hand. Because as much as I know that I'm never going to do it, I can, like, my brain just thinks about, I can turn this around and kill myself right now.
No. And it's the call to the void. It's those intrusive thoughts that, like, because they're so alien to your personality, they work their way in because it's possible now. You have this weapon in your hand. You could do anything you want with it.
I definitely have an intrusive thought problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... I think I get call of the void a little bit stronger than most people.
Yeah.
Because if I find myself with like even just a box cutter, it's like I can slash my neck right now. Or on a tall building, it's like I can jump off right now.
Oh, I get it real bad with that's why I'm afraid of heights, because I get it real bad with heights. So that's why I'm not afraid of skydiving or flying on planes, but it does make me nervous when it comes to bungee jumping or being on tall buildings, stuff like that.
Balcony.
Yeah, like Kiev, I was on like the 44th floor or something of my building. And it was, I was just like, and it was ceiling to floor windows too. So I'd be there doing push-ups right next to like the edge of my building, and I'd just be like, I'd get that little jump of adrenaline, and I'd be like, well, I guess this is helping me work out more.
Yeah, I definitely I didn't like that about firing the weapons. I think that the experience of using firearms made me like them less because it gave me a very first-hand experience of like, this thing is crazy. This thing is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But the sporting aspect of it, I think, is pretty cool, and that's why I actually found out that I really enjoy archery.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that you get like, probably 90% of the sporting that you get with a firearm at a range, but without the very loud noise, earmuffs, and likelihood that you could kill someone if you really wanted to.
Without the hearing damage that causes tinnitus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that hearing damage.
That being said, bows, they do hurt your arm sometimes.
Yeah, that's also a more physical contest. Just archery by its, like shooting a gun is like, there's not, the whole point is that you're supposed to relax most of your body, unless you're doing the standing shooting, which you have to take a very uncomfortable position to like really platform yourself. But like if you're doing the prone or the crouching kneel one, like those are all pretty relaxing. So The whole point is that you're supposed to be able to like kind of let your body relax into it. Whereas archery, you're going to build up some arm muscles, baby. Plus, who doesn't love leg loss? Yeah, if you get the opportunity, try archery as well.
Big fan of archery. It's really hard to properly, like, you can go to an ice rink if you want, or you can, like, go to a shooting range. It's generally hard to find somewhere to go do archery. But those are also super expensive.
Yeah, they really are.
Too. But, yeah, that's my pro tip that I'm going to leave you with, everybody. Archery, kind of fun. I also really want to do curling.
You want to do what?
Can I convince you to go curling? Can I also ask? Can I also inquire about your neighbor?
They're very loud down there. I don't really know. But then again, like, sometimes I scream at the computer.
I wonder if they're playing Call of Duty.
Could be. I feel like it might be something like that. But which one's curling? Is that the sliding ice one?
Curling, sliding on the ice with the big rock, and then you do the brooms.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm down. I'm down to try curling.
I'm going to book a curling thing.
Okay.
I'm going to book a curling thing. We're going to go curling.
When you go curling recreationally, I'm presuming nobody's doing the brushing thing. I feel like that's only when you're doing it professionally.
I think both. I think I saw that they do curling classes.
Okay.
So if we get enough people, we can go do a curling class. Like Charlie's asked to be down, right?
Sure, I'm sure he'd be down.
Yeah, okay.
That's a new experience. Bring a GoPro. We're talking about the uselessness of, like, everyone, like, whenever somebody buys a GoPro, they're gonna do so much with it, and then it just kind of sits there. Well, we've got a GoPro here.
Dude, we should use the GoPro. I'm gonna book some curling.
All right.
If there's any curling experts,
I'm down.
Tweet us.
In Los Angeles, if you're interested in curling, also let us know. As long as you're not a weirdo.
It's probably everyone listening.
We want a weirdo light, but not like overly weirdo.
Everyone listening is probably a little bit weird. They're all
I feel like they're weirdo light.
They're all Dota people.
I feel like if we were more, this isn't a Dota podcast. Remember, we've refined our crowd.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense because we're also kind of weirdo light. So
we're weirdo light. You know.
Yeah. Okay. So curling, archery, apocalypse.
Yep.
My cat allergy.
Your cat allergy. You got to get out of here. Otherwise, you're going to be blind driving home.
I have been avoiding touching my eyes.
Good job.
And I think I've done a good job.
Okay.
It's also killing me that there's like fuzz in the back end. No.
Turn.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.